allow myself to be my best self. To be creative. And to let go. I allow myself to live an elevated life, to stay focused and clear, always moving towards a goal. I allow myself to let go and to learn to live and to grow. I allow myself time and space. I allow. I allow myself to feel. To express myself. And to use the talents that I possess. Yes, 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 yes. Welcome one, welcome all. To the Be Do Have live stream. That are not love. I allow myself to be creative. Live in the moment. Ooh-wee. What a ride. I allow. We're getting things tightened up for today's live stream. I allow. I was running a little behind time. I got caught on the freeway. Didn't even get a chance to comb my hair and change my shirt. But sometimes you gotta run and move on the fly. improvisation. I'd like to welcome everybody here today. On this wonderful, beautiful Saturday afternoon session. We're about to bring in Dawn Osborne. She is backstage getting ready. I think she just waved her hand and said she's ready.
Greetings.
Good day, good day, good day.
Yes, yes, yes.
We're allowing ourselves to be authentic, transparent, open, caring, and loving. We'd like to welcome everyone to another session. Do Have. It just works so wonderful, doesn't it?
It works.
You know, Dr. B, Dr. Do, Dawn Osborne. And our highest choice is that we can share and help us all have what it is we desire.
Yes, yes, and yes.
For those of you who are here, who are ready, let us know if you're here for the first time. And if you're here for the first time, let us know how you found out about this session. And if you've been here before, let us know where you're watching from. And also how long you've been checking us out, traveling with us, elevating with us. And where you coming from and where you going. It's really deep. I just rolled out of the car, ran up the steps, turned on the camera. Usually, you know, there's time to meditate and breathe and drink a little water. But you got to be able to improvise on the fly. You got to be ready to change things in the rhythm if need be to make it all fit. So,
be in the flow of things, right?
In the natural flow.
In the natural flow.
First, I'd like to invite you all to give yourself permission. Give yourself a permission slip to be here, to gather something new, to learn something different that can be used in your life. And I'd also like to ask for permission. Is it okay that we share information that you may have never heard before, or something that you may have heard before, but a little differently? Is it okay that we share with you today? If it is, say yes. Is it okay if we make this a little fun? Is that all right? And is it okay if we talk about some things that may cause a little agitation? Sometimes this information can upset and cause us to look at things differently, and it's challenging sometimes to change that angle when we've been on a certain road, a certain belief system in a certain way for so long, and to find out that there's a better way or an easier way or a different way that we choose. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. Today, Dawn, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about who or what is wearing your jeans. We're going to be working from chapter 16 of What's Eating You.
What's eating you? Break free from mental, physical, and energetic parasites. The journey from opposition to liberation.
And never leave home without it. It's my new best friend and my favorite companion, because I find myself with those breakaway moments and being able to just dive in, or it's very relational. There's parts of this book that can relate to any part of my life. And so I am thoroughly enjoying ingesting all parts of it because it's so relevant for me.
Yes.
And I trust that even as I've been speaking with some of the sisters that have connected with me through our time here, and the level of relevance in so many facets of your life that come from this book are they're really amazing because it's, you have those tools that you come across in life that really become a part of your forever. Like Four Agreements is a part of what I do. Think and Grow Rich is a part of what I do. And What's Eating You is becoming a part of what I do. I have 3 books over the years of my coaching that I've had people read as a part of their healing and restoration process. And that is Four Agreements, Think and Grow Rich, and another one by Jeff Olson. Is the title is escaping me for right now. But those books are a part of every coaching package because I think that they help ground you, help you understand what your agreements are, take you through your money issues, and then help you with business. And people say, well, I don't have a business, I have a job. Your job is your business, right? You have a temporary investor, and that's your employer. And if you think about it that way, you change the way you think about a job. And this is the missing link. This is the health piece. This is the piece that ties in mind, body, and spirit. And so now I have 4 books that I'll be taking people through when I'm coaching, because the other books speak to different parts, but this in terms of who I am as a coach, as a coach that deals with you through the mental health, with the hypnotherapy, through the spiritual health, through Reiki. This ties all those elements together. It's my favorite. It's my favorite right now. It's my travel companion.
Well, I see we have several new people. So for the new people, Dawn, why don't you give them an introduction of who you are? Who is Dawn Osborne?
Dawn Osborne is a light being. And I'll tell you, with Dawn being my name and it signifying first light, I live in that light place. And so I am a light being traveling this part of my journey. In addition to that, I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. I am a Reiki master teacher. I wouldn't call myself a financial strategist. I am a funding acquisition specialist. So it doesn't matter whether your business needs funding and it's a for-profit entity or you need funding and you're a nonprofit entity. I have written grants that have brought in hundreds of millions of dollars to nonprofits throughout the country. And I've done some fundraising that has funded international projects as well. In addition to that, for-profit businesses that are just trying to expand their footprint or establish their footprint. I've been able to bring funding to them, whether that's getting them traditional funding through banks and institutions or help them with getting funding through angel investors or whatever the case may be. That's me. In addition to all of that, I have been blessed to have chosen to be I didn't choose to be the eldest daughter, but I chose that, my parents, and one of them is the legendary singer Jeffrey Osborne. And so I don't woo, woo, woo in song, but I do it in words, and my pen is magic.
Wow, beautiful. I sometimes just assume people know who Dr. B is. So I think maybe I should just tap into it for anybody that's new or anybody that may need a little bit more information on who this guy is.
Please.
Dr. B Sirius has been a musician since he was a child and a drummer, a master drummer. I've been a recording engineer, a mastering engineer, composer, writer. I've been Grammy nominated for several records and got several gold and platinum records, which signify 500,000 sold, a million sold, and just really started out in music. And music is what brought me into natural health because under the stress and the lifestyle that I was living in music, I obtained a immune system issue, autoimmune system problem where my body was fighting itself. And I was fighting myself mentally, physically, and spiritually because what I was doing, even though it was making lots of money, that was not really where my heart was because the industry was controlled so deeply by beings that were about, you know, population control, and I obtained a news that I didn't have very long to live, and that's what made me step away from music, well, not music but the music industry, and tap into health. And I began to study everything about natural health. I studied herbs from the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, studied crystals, stones, anything that was about healing and helping us shift and create homeostasis or balance in our body. And after about a year of deep study and trial and error and trying different plants and plant medicines and changing the way I ate and the way I talked and the way I thought, my quote unquote terrible diagnosis of having a short time to live, maybe 150 years is a short time. Who's to say how long or short or long is? That's a perspective. So that's when I got into natural health and became an herbalist and a master herbalist. Did lots of lectures and workshops over the last ever since like 1996 is when I went public. So I'm here to help folks who are willing to try something new, do something new. There are several herbalists and other people in the industry who were my students. So I'm not new to this at all. And but I don't compete. Some people say, well, one of your students, they stole your stuff. Well, none of it's ours. It's all something we're borrowing. And nobody can compete with Dr. B because Dr. B and you are totally unique. Just put your fingerprint on it, put your love on it. And you don't have to worry about who's trying to take something. And that's what the book is about. What's eating you? What are you allowing to control your mindset, your emotions? What are you eating that's eating you? Are your foods basically devouring you? Think about that for a minute. And do you have friendships and relationships where they're one-sided, where you're doing all the giving and they're just doing the taking? Some of us look for those type of relationships where we're just into what I call chronic servitude. We just want to help, 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 help. But at the end of the day, sometimes there's nobody there to help us. So just, I've been developing programs for many years to help us, reach that next level. And Dawn and I met many years ago and over a car, buying some cars. And she began to teach us about buying fleets. And, her and my best friend, they became, partners, had a child together, helped to change his life. So we've known each other for a long time. And it's beautiful that she's here and sharing in this program. So the question is, what's eating you? How many of you out there have the book? Who in our online audience has the book? And I noticed a lot of folks are coming back. They bought the soft cover and now they're buying the hard cover. And I was talking to someone and they said, well, the soft cover, that's for me to carry with me. I can just mess that up. But the hard cover, that sits on my coffee table or by the bed, So yes, it's been a beautiful thing. And right now the book is a bestseller on many platforms. The book is selling like crazy. In fact, we've had to bring somebody on the staff just to handle the books. So it's been beautiful. It was a little challenging getting started with it because at every new journey, it's going to be challenging in the beginning. So the key is to never give up. Never give up. We try something 2 or 3 times. Oh, it didn't work. It doesn't work. That's because you got to get into the rhythm and the frequency of doing something over and over, because it is the repetition of pain or pleasure or reposition or the repetition of you waking up each day and moving towards your goal. That's really important, so that's a part of who I am now. We've kind of got a little baseline and we're going to move forward with this chapter. who or what is wearing your genes. So, Dawn, I'm gonna let you take it from here and let's tap into this subject.
Let's tap into the subject. Great. This chapter, one, thank you all. I will be at Healing Lotus. I'll be giving out the email so that you can have that very soon. We're going to dive into what we're working with on this chapter, but I will be giving out some information. I want to thank everyone for all of their comments. I love this. My favorite part of doing this is that the interactive component and being able to interact with community. So I'm going to be scrolling through, but I just want to just dive into this chapter, right? And so a lot of this talks about the work of Dr. Bruce Lipton. And so, it references the work of Dr. Bruce Lipton, which is an amazing work. And so I'm just going to start by reading. I like to just read from the book. And so I'm going to start with the beginning of the chapter where it says, old scientific theories once suggested that genes determined much of our lives and could not be changed, that we were just stuck with them. The gene determination theory holds that our traits, characteristics, and health are predetermined by what we inherit from our parents. This is just one of the many outdated scientific theories detrimental to human evolution. Yet it's still being circulated as fact. The emerging field of epigenetics has revealed that genes express themselves in response to their surrounding environment. Dr. Lipton has been a significant influence on me and is one of the leading voices in this groundbreaking field. His book, The Biology of Belief, is essential reading for those ready to dive deep into the science of mind-body connection. Dr. Lipton observed that when the skin cell was placed in a petri dish and its environment changed, it became an entirely different type of cell. Cells and genes are just like people. We change when our environment changes. That's really deep. It's the mind over matter, the environment changes and we change, right? It's like change your language, change your life. Dr. B, speak to that.
Well, it's interesting because I stopped lecturing for a minute because I realized that the folks that I was lecturing to at one point were just lazy. They weren't doing anything. And they were just coming to the lectures, they were high, they were meeting up and eating chicken and peanuts in the back room. And we were doing these lectures every week. And I said, I need to take a break. So I took a break and I said, I'm just going to pause for a second. And suddenly, somehow, my son was about 3 years old. And he was sitting on the table where my computer was. And he just hits the computer. And all of a sudden, it goes to Dr. Bruce Lipton's website. I had never heard of him. And I'd never heard of this thing, epigenetics, and that genes were not, something that you were stuck with. And, genes are not determining your life. So I called him and ended up talking to him for probably a good hour on the phone, blew my mind, changed the whole direction of how I was looking at healing. And one of the things, like it says that, you can take a skin cell and put it in a petri dish. And if you change the solution, so they use things like agar, certain sugars, and certain types of nutrients when they put a cell in a petri dish, just to cultivate it. If you change the nutrients, if you change the density, or you change the arrangement of nutrients, the cell changes. So he noticed that the skin cell had changed. He ended up, by changing the solution of one cell, he was able to make almost every cell. So we were taught that genes determine our lives. But we're wearing our genes, like the blue jeans we go by. We got these genes from our family, they're hand-me-downs, and those genes are what is causing your disease, your outlook, everything about life. But when this happened, when he found out that genes changed based on their environment, it changed everything. And there's many studies on this now. So just look up epigenetics. And it determines and has shown and proven that once you have a gene, only 10% of that gene represents your life. In other words, what you look like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe your hair color, some of the traits that you've picked up from being born in that family only constitutes about 10% of your life. 90% of the gene expression or the gene, or genes were, or the DNA were basically called junk DNA because scientists said it didn't do anything. They were just there. They named it junk. But now we find out that actually the junk DNA is not junk. It's like a programmable circuit or it's a programmable. It's a program that can be changed. It's information. It's picking up information from its environment. That 90% of your genes are picking up information from the world around you, from what you eat, how you talk, how you walk, because they all create a vibration. They all create frequency. And those vibrations, that frequency, your genes are using as data to create your life. So for instance, they say, well, people have a cancer gene. Well, if you were born with a cancer gene, why is it that the cancer gene doesn't unfold and express itself till way later in life? What changes all of a sudden at a certain age, let's say it's 60, 70, for all of a sudden for this gene to turn on and express itself as cancer? Why wouldn't we have cancer in the beginning? It's because every gene has about 10,000 possibilities, 10,000 different things that gene can become. So even though you may have a cancer gene, which everybody has, they say, you have other things that can affect that to create another outcome versus cancer or diabetes or heart disease. It's the environment. So I named the chapter Who or What is Wearing Your Jeans? And looking at jeans like pants, you put them on. Who is wearing your pants? In other words, if you're allowing the world to define you, if you're allowing what happened to you in the past to define you, if you're allowing your parents and your friends and your religious organization or your political organizations to define you, then that's who you become. So your genes will pick up the information that you're giving the genes and express themselves based on that. But just like the blue jeans you wear, you can change them. You can put on another pair of jeans. And I say who or what, because sometimes it's an energy that's controlling your genes. It's a thought pattern. It's a belief. It's a program. It's an energetic field that is being created that creates that vibrational state, which becomes the solution, the petri dish for the DNA. Back to you, Don. You're speaking. I can't hear you. You have your button. We can't hear you. There we go.
It's really it's fascinating. I find it fascinating that we can influence our genes. And so harmonious balance is suggested that people follow along when I read. So I'm going to let you know exactly where I'm reading from. I'm going to be on page 67. It's the second paragraph if you want to read along with me. And it says the fact that we can influence our genes through our choices and our actions means that we're ultimately responsible for our health and our lives, whether we realize it or not. This is the opposite of what most people have been taught to believe. And this is just what Dr. B was saying. So I wanted to take you to where you can reference it in the book, because as I say, it's become my travel companion. This is how it's become my travel companion. I'll see or hear or realize something, and then I'm able to go to the book and actualize it here. And we're using multiple senses where you're hearing it, you're able to read it, and if something's going on, it's tangible. So it's being able to function in those ways. So I just wanted to let you know exactly where we're. So paragraph 3 is we are in no way prisoners of our genes. They are simply responding to what we think, say, do, eat, and the environments we live in most often. Changing any of these factors consistently, and a quantum shift occurs, which some call a miracle or a spontaneous healing. It's been shown that the genetic factors account for only the most basic traits, such as skin color, body type, and appearance. Genes may account for up to 10 to 15% of our lives. The remaining 85 to 90% is determined by the environment surrounding the genes. 85 to 90%? Wow. We create our internal environment through how we perceive the world and the beliefs we choose to live by. When we shift the perceptions, the genes will follow, kind of like Ludacris, when I move, you move, just like that, right? So I think it's really fascinating that as with the plants we wear, as with the pants we wear, but it should be the plants we wear, right? So as with the pants we wear, we can modify our genes to better fit us. That's really, really deep. Really, really very deep, right? And so then we go into the genie. Stories about the genies flying on magic.
Hold on now. Hold on, Don. Let's go back.
Okay, go back.
Be, do, have.
Right.
What you're being, what you're doing creates what you're having.
Even in your genes. Genetically, it creates it. Wow.
Your actions, everything is creating the energy that causes the gene to unfold, causes the gene to act or react. What are you being? How are you being? Who are you being? Is that the original program for you? Does that really work for you? Or are you just following along with everything you've been told about life? Who is shaping your mindset? Nowadays, because we have the internet, many of us are opening up to a whole new world because we have a lot of things we can study on our own. And we find that a lot of the science that we think was just, when they say something is scientifically proven, most of science is a theory. This blew my mind. I happened to ask a question in science class in high school, and this almost got me thrown out. I said, so science is a fact, or are these theories? Are these ideas that someone came up with, published them, making them public, and getting the mainstream to go along with it? Think about that for a minute. Dr. B, it's scientifically proven. My doctor said that it was scientifically proven that herbs don't have any effect. So I asked him, where did he get this from? Well, herbs don't work. And I said, well, what makes you, where are you coming from with that? Well, they're not in the American medical system, and they're not in American medical journals. And if they did work, we'd be using them. If there was no money in the system, why, when there's no money, because you can grow these herbs, you can grow dandelion. Dandelion's growing in your yard right now, most likely. A dandelion, how many things can dandelion change and balance? How many medicines does dandelion take the place of? Chemical medicines, natural dandelion. The weeds that we used to pick out of the garden, out of the lawn, our medicines. That's a powerful medicine. But the belief system and the programming. When there's a chapter where I talk about the modern medical system and how it came along and basically punished everybody who was into natural medicine. They actually killed people. Did you know this?
No, I did not.
The Flexner Report. The Flexner Report was created by oil barons, people who own drug companies, to prove that herbs and natural medicine, right? They I don't know how they proved it, were bad. They even said in the Flexner report, because it was very racist and very sexist, that women were not healers, and black people in particular had a disease, and they could only work in the sanitation department of the hospital.
Wow.
So today, the average person believes that modern medicine cures, when actually they have not cured anything. We keep going to the doctor to get medicines, and most of them are covering up symptoms. Then they began this thing of making people believe that their problem was because of their genetics. It runs in the family. It runs in the family.
Wow.
What does that mean? And if you believe that, you actually have that outcome. You have that because you're being a person that believes that. You're doing the things in life, like eating certain foods that's going to end you up in the medical system. Then you have the disease that your parents had. A lot of times it has to do with what? What they ate, what they cooked in, what they wore, how they acted. You are modeling for most of your life. You see? So now your genes are expressing themselves based on the beliefs, the repetitious beliefs, the repetitious words, the repetitious foods, the repetitious thoughts, the repetitious feelings that your family had. And one other thing, I was talking to this guy one time, a client, and he was attempting to quit smoking. And we found out that the reason why he smoked, because he was raised by his grandfather. His grandfather smoked. And this grandfather passed away. So he misses his grandfather. So he began to smoke because that reminds him of his loving grandfather.
Wow.
Did smoking run in the family? The idea basically began to run based on these ideas. Now, the medical system says, yes, we're going to treat your genes because you got them because you were passed down them. And now we know this is not true. This is the farthest from the truth. We are controlling our outcome. That's how we get to the genie effect. The genie effect is deep. You know, in all the movies, they have the genie, right? The genie, the magic genie. Let's read a little bit on the genie, Dawn, and let's get into this. What does the genie represent? Where does this come from?
Okay. The genie. Story, and this is on page 167. Stories about genies flying on magic carpets and popping out of bottles can be considered allegorical analogies and symbols for how genes function. The magic carpet resembles DNA. Lying on its side, let's take a closer look at the word carpet. The etymology online dictionary states, carpet, coarse cloth, tablecloth, bedspread, from Old French carpet, heavy decorated cloth, a carpet, from medieval Latin or Old Italian carpita, thick wooden cloth, probably from Latin carpe, to card pluck, or so called because it was made from unraveled, shredded, plucked fabric from pie, root cur, meaning to gather, pluck, harvest. From the 15th century. It referred to floor coverings, which since the 18th century has been the main sense. The letter C is exchangeable with K, so let's spell it this way: Karpet. Ka, which is Kemetic for the spirit, and R or Ra is for the name, sun god energy or supreme energy. This is where we get the ray in the ray of light. Taking it even deeper with the letter P, which is numerical vibration of 7, representing reflection, levitation. the beginning of spirituality and crystallized imagination. This is why the carpet floats or flies in the air like Christ walking on water, a symbol of homeostasis and balance. The last two letters of carpet are ET, as we know, and as well as we know, this stands for extraterrestrial. Genes are made of chromosome ladders or ribbons that collect, harvest, pluck, and hold information. Chroma is derived from the Greek word chroma, meaning color or light, and somes from soma, meaning body. This means chromosomes are the light or color bodies, also known as vessels, which hold and contain information. Whew. Wow. So the magic carpet is like a chromosome carpet, a symbol of a vessel or vehicle for the spirit and soul to ride or float on. The question is, where does the information these genes, carpets collect and store originate? The most direct answer is the environment around the gene, its atmosphere. And who creates our internal atmosphere? We do.
You might as well just go a little bit more about the red cap, and then we can.
My wig is blown back, Dr. B, but I'm
okay. Well, go ahead. We can pause for a minute, okay? You know,
I have to digest that because even in reading, and I think this is something that we should all take into consideration, when we're sitting alone and we're reading, try reading out loud and see how you internalize this. Because I've read this, I didn't read it out loud. And I'm reading it out loud and it's landing in a whole different way because multiple senses are processing and picking it up at the same time. Because as I read, I'm also hearing. So I'm seeing it, I'm speaking it, and I'm hearing it all at the same time. So I'm digesting it in a totally different way than I did when I sat quietly with my cup of tea, sipping and just reading the words. It's a whole nother experience that you're having the opportunity to experience with me as I internalize the words from this book. It's really deep to read out loud. Like everyone should read out loud more times than not when you have the opportunity. So I'm going to continue. The red cap on the genie's head symbolizes knowledge gathered in childhood. Red is the color of the root chakra or the energy vortex. The root chakra represents our upbringing, identity, how we perceive ourselves within our family or tribe, our life path, childhood, and our foundational core beliefs. My heart chakra is going like this. That's why I just held my chest, because as I'm doing this, my entire being is responding. Do you want me to continue, Dr. B, or you want me to?
No, go ahead. Go a little more.
The root chakra is the lowest section of the body, the legs we stand on, our legacy, so to speak. This red cap being worn on our head means that everything the red chakra represents is being impressed upon the mind. This cap collects and holds childhood feelings that are expressed and repeated in adulthood. By the way, the word childhood relates to a covering, cap, or trap. Someone once said, the average adult lives as an adult based on the child's conclusions. And this is very true. People radiate their conscious and unconscious desires or wishes every second of the day. Genes, like genies, grant people everything they desire based on their mindset. Hold on. I'm going to repeat that. Genes, which is our topic today, like genies, grant people everything they desire based on their mindset. Wow. Wow. That's what I'm going to say is wow. Okay.
So when you're asking the genie, they say the genie pops up and says, what do you desire?
Mm-hmm.
Every second of the day, your genes are popping up saying, what do you desire? So what you're thinking, what you're feeling becomes what the genie is going to grant. The genie is going to grant you what you're focusing on the most. The genes are going to give you what you're focusing on the most. Back to you, Don.
The bottle the genie lives in is like the body, the dwelling places. The body, okay, let me start that. The bottle the genie lives in is like the body, the dwelling place of the DNA. The top pops off when the bottle is rubbed. The genie emerges wearing a red cap with a tassel, appearing as an apparition in the midst of a mystical vapor. The rubbing of the bottle creates vibration based on thoughts and words and action. This vapor is like a rain cloud forming full of water that will hydrate the mind, nurturing the fertile subconscious. The genie then asks, "What do you desire?" That's the genes asking what you desire. Our condition influences our DNA. The body is like a petri dish. Then we speak, creating a magical spell, and poof, your wish is your command. We are truly the commanders of our vessel, giving all the orders. Every thought you speak gives the orders. That's crazy. Every thought you think, that gives the orders. The body, its organs, cells, and genes are the faithful crew of the ship. All outcomes in life are based on how one feels and how one perceives their world. The genie always listens to the master conductor, you, the maestro. As I'm reading this, I will tell you, in 2018, it was said that my mom had eye cancer. She never, ever said the word cancer. Not once. She never acknowledged the doctor's diagnosis. And today she is, quote unquote, cancer free. So when I'm reading this, I'm thinking about her experience. And the experience I live in, where I just keep repeating to myself, healthy self, which is heal thyself. And so I tell my genes to heal thyself over and over again. And I'll be 60 in January. I have had one or two doctors try to prescribe things to me. Oh, your cholesterol's high or whatever. I take no, not one, prescribed medicine. And I have not. As a rule, I do not take any prescribed medicines for any condition that someone might desire to say that is existing in my being, because I tell my cells on a regular basis, heal thyself, because they're capable.
So think about how we have these agreements about what it's going to be like to get older. You know, when you get after 50 years old, you're going to start getting aches and pains. And guess what? If that's the common language, right? What happens? We become that.
Right.
So when the stock market fell in the 1920s, I talk about that in the book also. The language of the world was America is sick. That was in the newspapers and everything because the stock market fell. America is sick. America has a disease. America is sick. That became the mantra for the people of the United States. 5 years later, polio pops up.
Mm-hmm.
And polio was a disease that a lot of Americans got, or they took the shot that was supposed to prevent polio. But the belief system was that America was sick. What is your mantra? You don't have to sit down and pray and hold your hands and hold crystals and breathe to be speaking in mantras.
Right.
Or to be asking. Each thing you say, you don't realize sometimes that this is an ask. You're asking for something by calling it. What are you calling yourself?
Right.
What are you saying constantly over and over? Which words? Look through your paradigm of words. And there are certain word phrases that you'll find yourself using over and over and over through repetition.
Mm-hmm.
The genie's job is to pick that up And as you say it, you're vibrating your body. So you're vibrating is rubbing the body. The top of the head, right? At the top of your head, there's the softest bones in the body, which are actually still open. There's a lens at the top of your head. And when you think certain thoughts, a vapor comes out the top of your head. Like if a person is running, like people who run, like there was a time we had to run from the police because we were throwing snowballs with rocks in them at cars. We were young, right? And I was trying to run.
Mm-hmm.
And automatically I took my hat off. And the minute I took my hat off, I was able to run 2 times faster. A lot of people who run know this. Because there's a vapor coming out. There's a mystical vapor coming out the top of your head. This is the genie story. You rub the bottle, out pops the genie, a mystical vapor. And then you're asked, what is your desire? But this is happening every single day. You're watching the news, you're watching the noose, and it's hanging you because there's beliefs and things that they're implementing in your brain constantly through repetition. Over and over and over. And these programs now are programming your genes. That's why I say who or what is wearing your genes. Are you properly wearing them well? Can you change your genes? Yes, by changing your thought, changing your feelings, changing your surroundings. For instance, there was a guy who went to prison, and he was a hacker. He was like one of these little square guys, you know, with the thick glasses. And what do they call folks that are like that? They just sit and read all day. They're techies in there. They're kind of strange, right? There's a name. But anyway, this guy was thin. He didn't fight. All he did was program. Mm-hmm. He got caught because he had some hacking skills that the government didn't like.
Right.
He goes to prison. You know what they're going to say is going to happen to him in prison? Oh, he's going to be this. He's going to be somebody's girlfriend. They tell you all these things that's going to happen in prison.
Right.
Within 12 months, this young, quirky, weird nerd, that's the word, was running the prison. They gave him everything. He had a phone. I mean, even the hardest gangsters, they all respected him. Guess why?
Because he was intelligent.
He was intelligent.
And they ended up funding his time in prison because he could help them. And so he was running the prison.
He was so good. They figured they got to get him out of prison. They got him out of prison, and he got a job working for the United States government.
Of course he did.
So he took his surroundings and changed the mindset. When you change, you change when you go to different places. You know how you walk into the family house and, it's a holiday and you may have been cursing up a storm. As soon as you walk in the house, hi, mom, hi, dad, happy holidays. You change. Right. We're changing all the time based on our environment, but our genes are just like people. They are changing based on how we live. And even your food creates an environment. So if you're eating, genetically modified organisms all day, if you're eating food that's full of plastic, microplastics, some of it's got macroplastics. I mean, I bought some food one day and it was like some noodles, or was it rice? It was something. I could tell this was plastic. In fact, I burned it and it smelled like plastic. Mm-hmm. I mean, soy can make plastic. I mean, you can make anything out of soy. Next year, there'll probably be a Soyota coming out.
Not a Soyota.
You can make anything. I used to make turkeys and stuff out of soy, Anyway, we are molding our lives like artists. We're very creative. Mm-hmm. So what we're talking about today is realizing that you are not a victim of your past. You're not a victim of what happened to you. You're not a victim of your genealogy. Your thoughts, your feelings. And how many things are you feeling that you didn't even witness, but you heard about them. Think about that. You heard about something. You weren't there. You weren't a witness, but you have internalized this. It really happened. It was on the news tonight. Well, Dr. B was on the news one time talking about natural health, but when it came on the news, I wasn't talking about natural health. I was talking about condoms. Because a guy who was speaking on the same stage, this was at Northridge University in California. I was speaking about, how we eat and parasites and things like that, my specialty. And there was another guy talking about wearing condoms. He came on after me and he was throwing condoms to the audience, right? When the news comes on, they say Dr. B. Sirius was at Northridge University today, speaking of the safe sex, and he was handing out condoms. So they showed me on the stage, and then I turned, and then when they did an edit, and it showed condoms flinging to the audience. I was like, I'm not into this safe sex. How is the condom safe? Do you know how many chemicals are in a condom? Anyway, we don't want to go there today. Well, maybe we do. But our belief system, everything is what is creating the environment around our genes. And if you believe you're going to get old at a certain point and you're going to get this and you're going to get that because that's what everybody experiences, you make an agreement.
Right.
That's why reading that 4 Agreements is so important. I'm reading it for the 5th time, and not even the chapter, the intro of 4 Agreements. That is so powerful because it explains this in a different way, where we have been domesticated and allow ourselves to be domesticated. Let's not blame others. We allow ourselves to be domesticated, and those spells can and will be broken. You are the genie.
Well, it's indoctrination, right? It's like training an animal. It's the same domestication thing that happens where, and that first chapter is everything. If you can if we can get people to sit in that first chapter and understand that process, you not only get to look at that domestication process, we also get to look at how to break you free from that, because then you start understanding that this isn't even my belief. This came from Big Mom. This came from Auntie so-and-so. You're able to separate fact and then where these ideas and thoughts come from, which is amazingly powerful, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful thing when you're able to stop and look at it. And when you think about being the commander of your vessel, how many times do we wake up and reach for that little device and scroll? This is the first thing you're taking in. This is what how you're starting your day. And if you're scrolling on social media or wherever, these are the first thoughts that you want to start your day with, as opposed to stepping out of your bed, creating your environment with the thought of what you want. And so this is why I believe that it's so important to write out your plan for the next day, the night before, and then step into that plan in the morning. And let that be, whether you start your day with a prayer, you start your day with an affirmation, you start your day with grounding yourself and initiating the plan that you wrote the day before. I have a thing that every morning, as I start my day, I make 3 money moves. It's written in my planner, 3 money moves. Those 3 things that I do that will turn into money today or in the future happen every single day. And it has been what has made it so, because at the beginning of all of these, I write grants and I work in government contracts and I do all kinds of things. At the beginning of the changes of the administration, I lost $7,000 a month. That was plucked out of my monthly income. I did not miss a beat. Why? Because I live in a space where I have multiple income streams, and I was able to, with my 3 money moves, have that replaced because I'm always generating opportunities for income. But this is my thing. Money is my thing. I make money. Money doesn't make me, and it continually flows from me.
You
But
just said I make money. What did you just say?
I make money. Money doesn't make me.
No, it was another thing you said. It was a mantra. Oh, I missed it. Oh my God. I was trying to write it down. I was so excited. And my
You're gonna
saboteur
have to
took
play
over.
it back, Dr. B. You're gonna have to
Yes.
play it back. I tell people all the time, record what I say, because sometimes it's coming through me, right? I'm a conduit, so it comes through me. The things that you hear, the things that I say, they come through me. And so I have my steps that I do before I go to bed, where I write out what the plan is for the next day. And I don't do it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I do it before I go to bed, which means I have to ground myself before I allow myself to go into my resting period. I'm grounded before I go to sleep. I'm grounded when I wake up.
Now, you mentioned going to sleep. There is a thing that we do in our subconscious alignment technology where once we create our goal, we look for a chief goal that we create. We make it, we turn it into what's called a language syntax. And those of you who've come out to the core access experiences, and there's another one we're working on right now, actually a whole day experience coming up soon. We'll let you know. So make sure you're on the email list at elevationtime.com. But when you lay down, just before you drift into sleep, you go into what's called a theta state.
Mm-hmm.
This is when you're in between sleeping and awake. This is when your mind is fertile. Whatever you're thinking about becomes the mantra or the repetitious vibration that gets nurtured for 6 to 8 hours while you're sleeping. Whatever you're thinking, feeling, experiencing, or doing before bedtime gets planted in your fertile subconscious garden, and the next day you will begin to have the seeds and the sprouts from that idea. Now, how many people out there go to bed doing what? Scrolling.
Worrying about what's going to happen.
Scrolling
And also worrying. Oh my gosh, tomorrow I have to do blah, 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 blah. Cancel, clear, cut, delete. Let's start with a productive, prosperous plan. It's, again, I'm going to go right to a direct quote from the book. We truly are the commanders of our vessel. We program. We are the programmers, right? And so speak it. Be, do, have. And so there's questions, and I'm gonna give it now. I told Healing Lotus I would, and what is my contact information? It is my name, Dawn Osborne, 777@gmail.com.
Did your new email ever work out? Did they fix it?
Dawn sent me an email back. It will be very soon at Elevation Time, but we're gonna, for sake of, I'm not sure if it's working yet, we're going to leave it there, and then I'll transfer you guys over. It's Dawn Osborne 777@gmail.com, but it will very soon be Dawn at Elevation Time. But as to not have emails bouncing back, we'll move in this light today. And so this is so powerful, right? Because as I am taking all of this in, and we're talking about what you do before you go to sleep and what you do when you rise, it sets the tone for the day. And if you're doing the cleanse, tranquility is my favorite go-to, and you don't have to just have it in the cleanse, because tranquility is a tincture that is available at Elevation Time, that when I'm feeling some kind of way, I do that tranquility with a tea, and I rest so peacefully. And so, yeah, I'm excited, because it's how I live, and it's almost like a confirmation, right? So I'm reading this, and now I know why the things that I do work. This is why what I do works. And reading it out loud to you, I thank you. I'm so grateful. Thank you all for allowing me to read this to you out loud. And you were able to see the visceral effect it had as my heart chakra just started. I had to literally hold my chest because taking it in and reading it out loud processed it through multiple senses for me. And so I'm so very, very grateful for the experience, and being able to share with you has been such a blessing for me. And that's one thing that I do know, even as a Reiki practitioner, there are times when I'm functioning as a practitioner and providing Reiki services, and I feel like I have had a Reiki session myself because it's reciprocal, especially when you're able to help someone clear, and it becomes such a healing experience for you. That's the blessing of energetic healing, right? As you, I was getting ready to quote the Bible: "As you sow, so shall you reap." And if your intention is healing, it often happens for you while you are helping others heal. And so, I got to get over to telomere. So I'm gonna
No,
move.
no, whoa, hold on
I'm
now.
not going all the way over there yet.
We gotta get to this, the reticular activating system.
Oh yeah, I'm not getting over there yet. I'm just saying I don't want to stay here because I don't want to not get there.
There we go. You got it, Dawn.
So I want to be able to just read through this. And so the last thing I said was that the genie always listens to the master conductor and the maestro. That's you, right? So if a person's thoughts, words, or actions, and I'm reading from page 170, if a person's thoughts, words, actions, and habits are desirable, they tend to receive more desirable outcomes. When we are in the habit of uttering how bad things are, speaking in the terms of what we don't want, what we don't have, and what we never get, we attract more of this. The reticular activating system, RAS, is like an agent constantly searching for more evidence of whatever we're focusing on. I'm going to say that again because I want you to understand. The reticular activating system, RAS, is like an agent constantly searching for more evidence of whatever we are focusing on. Disagreeable thinking and being, repeated day in and day out, create mental and spiritual parasites that eat us alive. So we're talking about you're the commander of our vessel, and we're giving all the orders. So the disagreeable thinking and the being and repeating it day in and night, they create mental and spiritual parasites. And parasites look for hosts. So you create them and you host them.
Come on now.
Think about what this is and how, just allow it to land when we talk about we are what we think. We create these habits. And so the reticular activating system is like an agent constantly searching for more evidence of whatever we are focusing on. So if you're focusing on disagreeable thinking and being, and you're repeating that, you're creating mental and spiritual parasites that eat us alive. So you wonder why you feel bad? Because you're creating these mental and spiritual parasites that are eating away at you. We live in a society where people are prompted to feel perpetually powerless, programmed to live with unresolved emotions like anger, fear, resentment, worry, grief, sadness, and low self-esteem. We have created a society where it's considered acceptable to live this way. We must transmute the feelings of lack and limitation, the believing that nothing is ever good enough. Many seek validation. Social media. Sorry, let me say that again. Many seek validation, anticipate gloom and doom, or believe someone is always out to get them. And to top it off, television programming desensitizes and distracts people from reality, watching and rewatching shows and news stories that numb the mind. We must become more optimistic by no longer following the crowd. We must realize that we are the genies, the artists, painting on the canvas of our lives.
Wow.
I'm just going to let that land.
Wow.
This is so deep. And we have tools, and we are sharing tools with you that help you navigate through what society has created as the new norm. We're flooded with information. And this speaks of TV and television programming and how it desensitizes. But what about the internet and social media? We're bombarded with information that comes so quickly, and we're not giving ourselves the opportunity to step away. I like to set my phone down and to turn it off and walk away from it and leave it. And people get an attitude with you. Like, I tried to contact you and you didn't respond. Hey, I'm going to take you back to 1980 where you had to wait till I got home.
You know what's interesting? We have a friend in common, and you and my friend were dating at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you've dated a few of my friends.
Dr. B, I'm going to say I have, and maybe I should change my dating pool.
Stay away from my friends.
Yes, I will, and thank you.
Both of my friends are like patients. They're coming to doctor. They're friends because Dr. B is like their doctor. But anyway, this was interesting. He was going through something and he needed to talk to me. And I had an office in Buckhead for a while. And I'd see clients. And one day I left my phone in my office. And I got on that 85 freeway here in Atlanta and was like, it was crazy, the traffic. I said, oh my God, I left my phone. And I thought about it. I could drive all the way back through this traffic and go get that phone. But let's let the phone rest tonight. Let it stay. So I couldn't answer it. My friend had been calling and calling. Our friend had been calling and calling and calling, and I didn't answer. He went off the next day because I saw all these messages. It was an emergency. But what happened? And he had this story about what happened, and he needed me, and I was the only one that could help him with this particular situation. I said, man, I left my, you lying. Nobody leaves their phone. Man, you're sitting there looking at my text. And he took it personal, which is back to the 4 agreements. And he got really upset. Do you know, because of that, we didn't talk for almost 2 years.
Wow.
Because he felt I purposely was shading him. I was purposely, what do you call it? When you get
dissing?
Not dissing. When you don't
ignoring?
Ignoring. Let's just go to the regular old school terms.
Yeah.
It created a lot. I mean, we still are friends today, and we talked about it and we laugh. But sometimes if you're texting a person nowadays, you got to answer right away. You could be driving. You could be in the shower. You could be outside grounding. You could be reading the Bhagavad Gita, the Torah, the Bible, the Emerald tablets. You could be focusing on containing your life because you are the captain. But when that phone rings, you're programmed to answer quickly. People have a lot of access to us. We allow people a lot of access.
It's called instant gratification, and they've become accustomed to instant gratification. Everything is instant in society today. And I used to have a voicemail, and it said, "Hi, you've reached Don Osborne. Thank you so much for calling. Please leave a message at the tone, and I'll call you back or not." That or not, people they could not believe I said or not. And then some of them would say, why do you tell people or not? Because there's a chance I might not call you back. And everyone's putting into the message ghosting.
That's what it is. Ghosting.
Yeah, ghosting. That or not set people, they were, when I called them back, they were grateful because they realized they weren't a part of the or not, but they knew it was a possibility. And I'm tempted to put it back because it takes away the expectation. There's a possibility I might not call you back. It was powerful, and I didn't realize it. I just felt like letting people know I might not call you back. So I said it, and some people said it was arrogant. No, I was exercising my right to let you know I might not call you back. I don't have to. Turn your phone off
Sometimes.
for 12 hours.
Yes.
I challenge you.
Yes.
Turn your phone off for 12 hours. Leave a voicemail message that says, if this is an emergency, like Dr. B says, call 911. But if this is an emergency, you can always email me. I'm going to be checking my email and I'll pay attention to that. But I am taking a 12-hour phone fast. I'm fasting from my phone for 12 hours. Please leave a message and understand that it will be at least 12 hours before I call you back. Send an email if it's urgent. I will see my emails because I'm committing to doing that. And if it's an emergency, I will call you back. But I'm creating a very healthy, fully transparent boundary that you don't have an opportunity to do anything but respect. Because it's not optional, the phone's off.
My personal phone says, "Who are you?" I'm asking, who are you? Not just your name. Who are you as a person? What do you desire? Not from me in life, right? Then I say, if this is an emergency, call 911. People will call you with things that are emergencies that to you is not an emergency. But all of that stuff is what's programming your genes, programming how you act, programming your outcomes in life. What you let in, your income, has a lot to do with your outcome. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Your income, what you're allowing in, becomes a part of your outcome.
Right.
People are wearing their phones. There was a lady in line the other day. She had her phone holder is her bra. She stuffed this thing in her bra. And I was there, and I've learned to mind my business and business my mind. I wanted to say something, lady. Then I looked at her cart. She had every kind of toxic food you could think of. I mean, she had it all. She had nothing green. Nothing.
Wow.
I mean, and then I looked, she's putting her phone in her bra. You're letting that radiation vibrate through one of the most delicate tissues in your body.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of folks do this. They don't realize it. Folks have, you can wear your phone now. You can wear it. Like you're wearing your jeans. Who's wearing your jeans? Who's wearing their phone? And are you able to let this go?
Right.
And let your body relax and cool out for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So you can recondition your jeans.
Right.
Who or what is wearing your jeans? We are talking about one of the chapters of my new book, What's Eating You, which is out right now. It's on Amazon for those who are outside of the continental United States, but actually at elevationtime.com, you can go and get different versions of the book. There's an audio book. There's when you get the book at elevationtime.com, actually it takes you over to What's Eating You. What is the name of it? Yeah, What's Eating You.life. You can get versions of the book. All of the books on our website, you get 2 medicine music songs, so that music is constantly programmed into your head, brings about, relaxation, peace, love, and harmony. It puts you in the theta state because all of it is recorded at 432. So there's also another version of the book you can get where you get the audio version of the book, you get the hardcover book, and you also get the music soundtrack, because your genes are responding to music. I need you to hear this. I saw a guy 2 days ago pull up at the store. He had to be at least 70 or 80. And his song that he was listening to, because he had this sound system that was booming, it was hardcore. He jumps out the car. He's got to be about 80 years old. He's got the handicap sticker on the mirror. The song that he was saying was Murder. Something murder, got a murder, murder. This is what he was listening to.
Wow.
Gets out the car. He grabs his oxygen tank. Think about this. What is going on? He's not breathing on his own correctly because his breath is infused and confused by the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Music affects us just like food. See, a lot of us have changed our diets. Oh boy, I'm just about a vegan. I'm a vegetarian. I'm a oxytocin-ish. Is that a new diet? Oxytocin. That's love. It actually would be good. Oxytocin. We'd be lovers all day. So our food, the solid food we eat is affecting ourselves, but also the music, also your friends, their conversations, the news, everything is programming your genes, and you're wearing the outcome, and you're not acting like the captain of a successful ship if you're allowing this 24/7.
It's so important, right? As we talk about our genes, we talk about our environment, we're talking about all of the ways that it works, but I will say that there's a triangular effect with the book as we talk about what's eating you. And we talk about the music. As you were talking about the music and you were talking about the book, it made me think that what's eating you as we speak, we're programming ourselves. As we read, we're taking in the information, right? So you're seeing it, you're hearing it, you're creating the environment where you're getting a better understanding of it. And as I talked about heal thyself, I think one element that we haven't spoken on in this whole process is, except for when I mentioned tranquility, is the herbs, right? Because you have to feed your body with, you have to feed your body. You have to give it what it requires. And so as I say, heal thyself, I'm also giving my body the tools that it needs to heal itself continually. And seasonally or quarterly, I do the total body cleanse to give my body the tools that it needs. As I say, heal thyself. Well, it needs some incentive, some help, some support, right? Because we can buy healthy food and we can do the things that we think we're supposed to do, but the environment that these foods are created in, we have no control over. So we have to give it a little bit of support. And so the total body cleanse, doing that seasonally, and as we talked about last week, where we were talking about the equinox and how this, as the seasons change, what our body needs and requires changes too, because it's a constant. We're all constantly evolving. And so, Dr. B, as we're talking about genes and we're talking about this chapter, I would like for you to also tap into what our bodies need to be able to heal themselves. What, as we're telling it what we want it to do, what support are we giving it to help?
Well, first, we have to clear the pathways of elimination. And the pathways of elimination in the body is the skin, through perspiration, our nose, our mouth, our ears. Everything is actually taking in energy and pushing energy out. Somebody said, well, what do you mean ears? Yes, your ears, right, have filters in them. Check it out. Have you noticed that sometimes if you're listening to a person and the conversation is really good, that you don't hear anybody else around you. And it could be a crowded place. You're able to filter and focus in on only what you desire and repel what you no longer desire to hear. That's a filtering system. It's the same thing in our consciousness. So when our pathways of elimination are clogged, or when we're getting too much of everything, we've got to let go. It's time to release. Seasonal detoxification is important because you've been taking in a lot. A lot of what we've been taking in is not even ours. A lot of things have been passed down to us. A lot of ideas are parasitic. Certain emotions and feelings are parasitic. They're eating us alive. So the elevated total body program is not just for parasites in the colon. It's for parasites that are systemic through the body and systemic in the auric field. That means that there's parasitic energy in your energy field around you, in your biofield. This cleanse goes much further than just dealing with physical bugs. It also deals with what some people call spiritual parasites. How many of you have spiritual parasites? You've tried and tried and tried to change something in your life and it just don't shift, because we got to detoxify you at the energetic level also. And certain toxins and certain parasites hold on to certain habits. This is deep to know that things like toxoplasma actually will have you choosing things that cause self-harm. It's one of the symptoms of toxoplasma is doing self-harm. What do you mean, Dr. B? You have a child and you loved your child. Oh my God, this is a baby. And you go in the store and you go to the baby food aisle and you pick something. First of all, a lot of these baby foods got that ugly baby on there. It's an ugly baby on one of those. But why would you choose this particular brand with that ugly baby that they drew back in the 60s that may have never even existed? And what's in the bottle? A lot of these baby foods have toxins like, what do we call preservatives?
Mm-hmm.
So it could sit in that jar forever. I mean, you can't take some carrots or some applesauce yourself and smash it up and give it to the child that you love. You don't have a few minutes to do that, or some peas. What is baby food? Look at that aisle, stand back, read the ingredients. A lot of baby foods have something called excitotoxins. Excitotoxins are toxins that they put in foods. Some of them are preservatives, some of them are just for what we call flavor enhancers. And what they do is they send these electrical impulses to your cells, especially your nervous system, your neurons. And they actually cause what we call premature cellular death from excitotoxins, because they excite the nerve where the nerve is firing, where now it goes into premature death. Excitotoxins are in a lot of foods. Look up excitotoxins. Things like, I mean, it's the list is MSG is just one, but a lot of people they now changed the word MSG or the letters MSG to 50 other words. Mm-hmm. We've got to detoxify the excitotoxins. You know of a cleanse that gets rid of excitotoxins? Do you know of a cleanse out there that helps get rid of microplastics? This program now deals with microplastics. There's 3 products. 3 things in nature that helps to break down bioplastics, or what we call biofilm, which is plastic and the film that these parasites make, these protective coatings that can protect them from almost anything that could be harming them. It's called a biofilm. And they use plastic that you're eating to reinforce the biofilm. I don't know of a parasite cleanse that does this. That's why we created it. Most of the parasite cleanses out there, they may be good for the colon and they may be great temporarily, but guess what? Superbugs, or what we call genetically modified pathogens, have y'all heard of them? Which are created as bioweapons during war and experimental population control. I don't want to get too deep. I almost went there, so just calm down, Dr. B. I'll go off on a tangent in a minute, so stay focused. But we've got to detoxify to the root. And that's what the elevated total body program is all about. And a lot of your choices are not your choices. Your choices are being, implemented by your amygdala, which is looking for things to be afraid of. It's looking to protect you. But the amygdala is where the parasite toxoplasma basically resides. It has you thinking and being afraid of things that can't hurt you and not being totally aware of the things that could help you. So the elevated total body program is now on sale, and you can use the discount code. What's the discount code today? It is Jeans 2026. Jeans 2026. So when you go to elevationtime.com, if you'd like to use this program that can help also with what we're having right now is the pollen season, allergy season. Okay. So this is why it's a total body program. It's dealing not just with parasites, it's our whole condition. And also it helps to change our mindset. And I think that's one of the main things we need to be looking at, changing our mindset.
Right. That speaks to what we've been talking about with the genes and being able to program our genes. One thing that is just ringing clear to me as we look at being the commander of our vessels, how very important it is. And we were speaking about it a couple of weeks ago when I said it's so important to love on yourself, to speak lovingly to yourself, about yourself, with yourself, right? I love me. But how often do I tell myself that I love me? How often do I live in the energy of love when I am communicating with myself or about myself, right? It's so important before we go to bed, to lovingly speak to ourselves about our plans, with our plans for the next day. And then when we wake up again, to wake up, to rise up and to be exactly that, right? We ascend in the morning. You ascend out of the bed. You rise up. It's your language, right? You throw yourself out of bed like, oh my gosh, and you're dreading having to get up. Or you rise up. You ascend into this new day, right? And I get to, right? I get to. That's what I tell myself as I'm moving through my day. I get to start this day understanding that I am the first light. Ooh, I just love that. And I love me and I love on myself. And I look in the mirror and I just speak to myself about how wonderful this day is going to be because I am just absolutely fabulous. And I have to speak to myself in that way so that I can start the day and move through in an energy that's going to produce. And so I move into my 3 money moves, which generates what's going to come today and in the days to follow. Think about if you make 3 money moves. Just do it 5 days a week. So for 15 days, for 15 days out of the month, I'm making money moves. 3 of them every day. What is that going to produce at the end of every month? What is that going to project into the next month? 15 opportunities, 18 or 20 opportunities every month for money, something to happen, whether I'm speaking to a new client, I'm submitting a document that's going to create income, or I'm writing something or sending something out. Or that those money moves can be an email, they can be a phone call, they can be a text message, they can be a DM, whatever those money moves are, I'm making them every 5 days a week. That's power. I'm generating opportunity 20 times a week for myself. Or 20 times a month for myself. Sometimes more often. but it's a conscious effort every single morning that I do not let anything get in the way of.
So these are some of the things that we're going to be bringing out soon. Just imagine you coming to a workshop, a class, a master class, and it's not just about your physical health, your body, but it's also about your mind to help you become wealthy. And now you can afford the foods. And well, Whole Foods is really expensive. Well, it's expensive, or it's also expansive, depending on what you get. Now, everything in Whole Foods is not holistic, by the way. They got
Right.
it's really a regular grocery store with a few, just like Sprouts and all of them. They got regular stuff too that could.
Right.
You got to be careful. So if you're interested in us coming to your town, talk to Dawn. What was about the sponsorship programs? Was somebody who would like to sponsor us, Dawn, you were talking about?
Well, there are to sponsor us for a book tour where we will come to your town. We will do a book tour. We will do a workshop or a conference there in your town. Let us know. And Butterfly Kiss put up the mantra. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She's so very, very. Look, if I need an assistant that functions like you, because you are on top of it. She put up the mantra that flowed from me. I make money. Money doesn't make me, and it continually flows from me. It continually flows to me, also. And so, if you're interested in hosting, it's Dawn Osborne. My name spelled out DAWNOSBORNE 777 @gmail.com. Just send us a line and we will get back to you, and we would love to come to your town and have a wonderful day with the book and all kinds of information. This has been an awesome experience. I thank you all for and we're not ending now. I just want to be able to thank you, because the interaction, your questions, your responses, they give us the opportunity to tap in and share more information. So being able to connect with you. And Miss Peacock, I love your playlist, right? Her playlist is called The Night Doctah. And she has 3 songs, the Equinox song, Sonic Immersion 2 and Sonic Immersion 3 in her playlist that she plays at night. And I think that's amazing. I love that. And I love that for you. And it's so wonderful that you are all sharing throughout the chat and being able to share throughout the time that we're here spending this time together. I try to make sure that I read through the comments and read because you guys it's wonderful and it's entertaining. Whole Foods is half foods. I love the vibe this afternoon. I love it's free flowing, and we appreciate you. We appreciate you, and we love being able to vibrate with you. You guys are amazing. Dr. B, one of the things that's coming next in this chapter is about telomeres. But
hold on. Before we go there, can we just go back just a little bit? Since you're on music, let me just say this. I got to make an announcement because this just happened. We just sold the last medicine drum in stock. We have been selling out of the medicine drum. There are folks who are investing who realize what this is. And if anybody out there who has the drum right now realizes what this is and how this is a great investment, they can't make them quick enough right now. That's how many people are, investing in this thing. And I found out something because I've been sleeping with it in my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear the tones of it in your sleep.
Wow.
I did an attunement yesterday. And with using the medicine drum, we actually witnessed an exorcism. Somebody had a being in them for, I think it was like almost 25 years. The being came out of them. Now, some folks are, no, Dr. B, now that sounds evil. If you got something that's in you, a parasite, an idea, a feeling that needs to come out, why is that bad? but it gets scary sometimes because, and we weren't trying to do this. This was just, let me play the drum. And sometimes when you hit certain frequencies, certain entities, certain things that are in you that you didn't even know that were there start coming out. They leave. And we experience this, and it's amazing. But I've been sleeping with it in the bedroom, and it's just an amazing instrument. It blows Dr. B's mind every day. What a powerful creation this is. We will have more drums coming next week. So if you go to the website and you'd like to invest in the Medicine Drum 432, you'll see it says out of stock, but you can also buy it now. And
you can order it.
You can order it now, and as soon as they come in, we'll get them to you. But they're moving. There's folks from all over the world who realize what this is and what opportunities having something like this is, even in your meetings and your mantras and your talks. And even I have a teacher who's using it before class. They play the drum, they teach the class. It gets the students in the place of the vibration of learning, and then he plays it at the end of the class. So there's many things that you can do by having your own medicine drum, or at least investing in our medicine music collective at elevationtime.com. And everything this weekend, right? Everything, including the drum, you can use that discount code Gene 2026, Genes 2026 for 15% off until Sunday at midnight.
The drum is powerful, and there's if you haven't experienced the drum, there is a video on YouTube, and there is a video on YouTube where you can hear the drum played. It's amazing. Dr. B played it for us a couple of weeks ago while we were on this live, and it is so powerful. The sound, our bodies respond to music because we are music, right? We are music. The vibration, we vibrate, energy is everything, and the vibration of music has such healing powers, right? The medicine drum is it's simply powerful. It's a great experience to feel the vibration of the drum, whether you're listening to it, and you can find it on YouTube where there are videos of Dr. D playing the drum.
And since we're on music, we might as well stay here because the telomeres respond to music. They respond to sound frequency. And you were about to get into the telomere cap. And
yes, the telomere cap. And one more thing about the Genie's cap. This red cap and tassel also represent the telomere cap at the end of DNA strands. DNA collects light, which activates and energizes our cells. Telomeres are the ends of DNA. Like messengers, they collect and broadcast information throughout the body. The telomere cap prevents DNA strands from unraveling and breaking off, which can trigger premature aging, disease, and death. When the telomere cap is secure, we are in optimal wellness. The body is a musical instrument. Every second of every day, we create music and are a part of a cosmic orchestra. How we vibrate mentally, physically, and spiritually determines the type and quality of our music. How we think, speak, and live determines our character. In turn, determines the frequency of our actions. When a person speaks, you hear their song. It is also reflected in their facial expressions and felt in the field of energy they emit. Sometimes the energy given off is based on a temporary mood. When a mood lasts more than 28 days, it becomes a temperament. After 3 months, that mood becomes a character in the song they sing over and over, an integral part of their personality. People often have an affinity for others whose songs are in tune with theirs. That response will have me read that sentence again.
Read it again.
People often have an affinity for others whose songs are in tune with theirs. When people meet and emit incompatible frequencies, they usually repel each other. When people are forced to stay around those whose music clashes with theirs, they are often put into fight or flight or freeze mode. If this happens over a long term, they literally make each other sick. Their vibrations are out of tune. Their vibrations are out of tune. Wow. In modern society, people have become so distracted, desensitized, and tone deaf that they accept disharmony and illness as the norm. They even crave disharmony, which is kind of noise pollution. Being of sound mind and body is impossible when there's no harmony. You know, I met this person and I was coaching them, and they were saying that what they desired was to be in relationship with someone where there was harmony, because they had a previous marriage and it was just unity without harmony. And I thought that was so deep, because we connect, but we have to be in harmony. You can't be in the same band and not play in harmony. How can you be in a relationship without harmony?
Well, you can, because I went to see a band one time. It was one of my favorite groups, but all the original owners, people were gone, and it was a whole new band, and they were not in harmony, and it sounded terrible.
Right. So you can, but you shouldn't.
I left. You should just stay out of respect. No, I'm leaving. This is not harmony. And a lot of foods that we eat are not in harmony with each other. They're not in. I mean, we're eating a disharmonious meal.
Well, and so your foods have to be able to digest together so that they can digest. Right? Because if the things that you are eating are competing or fighting with one another and your body can't digest them, then what happens to it? What happens to that food that is not in harmony? It just sits there.
Doesn't break down.
It doesn't.
Body doesn't know what to do with it and starts storing it up. And if you got enough poisons and toxins, it stores it up in things called tumors.
Wow.
Bowel pocket. And our bodies are filters. We are filters. Everything that you eat, you're filtering. Think about that. Your stomach, your gut, your digestive tract is a filter. It is juicing everything.
Wow.
What it can't break down, it either moves out through the colon or it stores it somewhere.
Somewhere.
You see?
The body is a magical thing. But it requires us to be mindful and intentional with what we put in it. You should intentionally eat. Think about that. You're eating with intention. Think about when you're eating without intention. You're just eating stuff. How many of us are just eating stuff and not thinking about, well, if I put this with this, my body will be able to break it down and I'll be able to be in harmony. Harmonious ingestion, harmonious release, harmony throughout.
Think about a genetically, it means it's gene splicing, they created modified organism. Huh? And genetically, see, we just say GMOs, now let's break this down. Genetically modified organisms, especially in a lot of these quote unquote vegan foods that are supposed to be like faking the meat. It's a meat, supposed to be a replacement. Think about if you're eating these genetically modified organisms, genes, your body absorbs them, and those genes become a part of your gene pool. Now who or what is wearing your genes? You're wearing the genes of these foods or these non-foods, what they now call frankenfoods.
Mm-hmm.
You're wondering why you're having an outcome, why you have bad luck and things are not happening. You don't manifest. You keep attracting the same lovers. They always abuse you, or you're abusive to them, and you have abusive talk. You abuse yourself when you sit down and walk in and buy a product, or walk into a store or a restaurant and buy something that's going to be abusive. You're
You
kicking
know,
your own ass.
think about this, right? And I'm just thinking about this. They have conditioned us that everything should be easier. And someone told you that having to take seeds out of your food is a nuisance. And so we're going to create this seedless watermelon, and you won't have to remove the seeds from the watermelon. You could just devour through. How did you grow it without seeds?
How'd you do that?
How'd you do that?
Genetically modified.
Genetically modified, but they've convinced you that you need seedless watermelon because eating watermelon with seeds is an inconvenience. It's gonna take too long for you to eat it. And you said, okay, and you now everybody's eating seedless watermelon. Think about the fact that these seedless fruits are growing without seeds. They're bioengineering the food, and we're buying it and eating it and wondering why our bodies are not working the way they should.
That's why it's called bio engineering, because you're buying these engine. And then people, we can't blame the corporations. There's a demand for this.
They're cloning the food, they're cloning the animals. So we talked about last week, we talked about having a bag of chicken wings, and each chicken only has 2 wings. So
see,
where are all the chickens going?
You see?
How are they coming up with all these wings?
Your phone is smart. If you have any questions about anything, you ask artificial intelligence, and people are going dumb.
Right.
And that's what keeps people on the phone
with you all of the time.
All of the time.
Every second of every moment.
Who or what is eating you? What are you allowing? And that's what the book is about.
Mm-hmm.
Just creating awareness so you could make more informed choices. What's eating you?
One of the things we haven't done this far, Dr. B, what I'd like to do, we've got another 6 minutes. I'd like to spend at least a couple of minutes. And I wish I had started sooner. Does anyone have any questions for Dr. B?
Or Dawn.
Or Dawn, but yeah. Since we were talking about food, I always see Dr. B as the well, okay. Dr. B or Dawn. Any questions at all? I think I've tried to stay up with the chatting, but I wanted to make sure that if anyone has any questions, let's see. There's a new comment. Oh, no, it just says plant-based foods is not plant-based if they're manufactured and not from deeply rooted soil and from the ground.
Well, they are plant-based. They're based in a manufacturing plant. You think it says plant-based, you're thinking, it grew outside. No, it grew inside under fluorescent lights in a laboratory setting.
Right.
They've been doing this a long time. Some folks, you give them something real, and they, oh my God, what is this? It tastes terrible. It has a funny flavor. It must be natural. People get, I've actually seen this where people get upset. You give them some natural food. Oh, I knew it coming from you, Dr. B, it was going to be something gross. It's green. Wow.
So someone said they're starting the total body parasite cleanse on Monday. Do we have any suggestions besides what's in the pamphlet?
Everything is in that pamphlet. Do exactly what it says. Now, this is important. I just talked to a client yesterday, and he's dealing with cancer and a couple other things. So we put together a special program for him. And his wife called yesterday because she's going to be helping him with it.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, Dr. B, is this stuff going to work? I was talking to the brother. He's all in. He's been listening to classes and workshops. Now the wife comes in. Is this stuff going to work? Your vibe is causing you not to work out well. You can tell by her voice. Like, he's been dealing with this, and the doctor said, and she had this whole vibe. and he got to take this stuff for how long? I said, what kind of medicine is he on? He's on a medicine they told him he's got to take for the rest of his life.
Right. Wow.
Nobody asked that question. You know, they have a thing back in the day. I remember, I think it was the Revolutionary War. They said, you know, the white coats are coming. The white coats are coming. You remember that? Mm-hmm. This was like the enemy had white coats on. So don't shoot till you see the whites in their eyes. Sometime the white coat is coming. He's at the hospital. You've driven up to his place, waited in the lobby, eating, you know, they got a big bowl of candies, right, for you to eat that caused the disease that you may be there for. And you go in there and just believing without believing in yourself, because you haven't appointed yourself as captain of your ship.
Right.
You think that they know more than you. You may not have ever said, I'm going to give myself permission to be my best self each day.
Right.
You may never have chosen, right, a path which leads you to a destination that you choose without all the landmines and crazy stuff and friends and all the stuff and the competition out there in the world and people who will talk you out of it. A lot of people in relationships will keep you sick. Right. Do you know there's people who are caretakers who get paid to care for you? Or they this is the wife or the husband. They actually like this person incapacitated.
Right.
They it's like they argue for the disease. But he's got this, and the lady was really upset about this man having to take this program for 3 months. Why are you so upset? What else are you going to be doing?
Right. She should be taking the program too.
She needs rid of her parasite. If I knew he was married, I would let him know that you're going to be cross-contaminating. I hope y'all aren't having any intimacy, because if you're having intimacy while you're on the program, the parasites go to the other person. And a lot of us share illnesses, share disease, because we share the way we talk, the way we act.
Right.
We watch the same scary movies on television and have the same decisions politically. We have on the cleanse, you've got to be willing to walk it alone.
Right.
And now there's something you can add to the cleanse, and I'm going to show this on the screen real quick. That's going to help you with courage. No, this is not it. That's not it. That's good too. It comes in the program. I'm looking for iron.
While you do that,
there we go.
Okay. Yes. Go ahead.
Without iron, you will never have the courage to break away from the matrix.
Wow.
You'll never have the courage to speak truth to power. You'll never have the energy to be yourself, because iron is the main element that helps you carry nutrients to your from your gut to your body. It also keeps you strong. It's iron. So if you're anemic, you're not going to have energy.
Right.
Your whole body is off. And if your body's off, you have poor, tired blood. If you have poor, tired blood, you got poor, tired choices.
Right.
Why did you choose that? Well, I don't know. It kept talking. The commercial kept coming on. And my friend took it, you know. He had such and such, and his doctor gave him. And we're just covering up symptoms instead of getting to the root. One of the roots is going to be iron. So adding that to your program is essential. Without iron, you cannot even see outside of the box you're in.
So iron brings courage.
Courage and balance. Helps you breathe. Helps you live.
Thank you. We will be hosting a ceremonial class. I don't know that it's going to be a ceremonial class, but we are going to be hosting a class for those who purchase the drum, that they will be able to participate in a class. We'll be making mention of that and noting that class very soon. And so natural drugs, the best herbs to take while breastfeeding. So one of the things, as we're at 1 o'clock, what I want you guys to do, if your question wasn't answered, please send your question to Dawn Osborne 777 at gmail.com. They're saying that the discount code isn't active, Dr. B. So we need to have John look at that. We will have John look at that, and that discount code will be active. If you're having challenges with it, try it again. We're going to have our IT person look at it to make sure that it is. I'm
looking at it right now. I'm going to be the IT guy.
Okay, Dr. B is the IT, and he's
going to put the I in the T right now. So let me just check something. Maybe the banner. Let me just check something really quick.
Okay, we're going to get that fixed for you for the discount code.
Okay, somebody go check it really quickly and see if it's working now.
If someone can check it, that would be awesome. Dr. B, I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I'm going to give you 2 seconds. 2 and 2. You're going to have 4 seconds. What do you think of an alkaline diet?
Well, I don't know if I totally believe in an alkaline diet because you need some acidic. Your body's going to change things to acid or alkaline naturally. Okay. So the alkaline diet, I don't really know, because in order to have DNA, it's going to have nucleic acids. I think we should eat foods that are wholesome. We should eat for our body type, eat things that naturally grow. Mm-hmm. But the alkaline thing, like even if you drink alkaline water, right? Your body says it's too alkaline and will turn it acid, right? And will change it and adjust it. So I am somebody says what about the code? No on the code. The code isn't working. I want to fix this before we go off.
He's going to fix that. And so you should balance your diet. An alkaline diet, I mean, you should eat alkaline foods, but you can't have it. You don't want to over-alkalize your system.
Yes.
And then the next question would be, Dr. B, when you finish with that, is they want you to break down the difference between letting the vapor escape from the top of your head opposed to covering your head.
Okay. It depends on what you're doing. Okay. If you're running, or if you're doing things where you need to perspire and let off some pressure, then you take your cap off so your head can breathe. The reason why we cover our heads, because you're receiving information from the cosmos, or even people around us. So we cover our heads so we're not picking up that information through the soft tissue at the top of the head. But there are times when you need to take it off so that you can move faster, move quicker. It depends on who you are. I know there's some belief systems where you're always supposed to cover your head, but I think when you get home, if you could take it off and let off some of that steam, because your head breathes.
Someone asked, isn't spring water naturally alkaline?
It is usually, but spring water, depending on what bottle it's in, may not be totally spring water. It's been sprung. Right. They got plastic sprung into it. You know what I'm saying?
It depends on where the spring water is sprung from.
You like that, huh?
I want to tell you all that I am so grateful for the interactive element of the time we spend together, because it gives us the opportunity. One, we have a really good time. We love to laugh, and laughter is food for the soul. And so we love to laugh with you, but it's also very wonderful to be able to share with you and have you share with us, because your questions give us the opportunity to share information that we might not naturally share. And so your question, I'm sure there's someone else that's watching that may have the same question or a similar question. So we get to share information that is helpful to the greater body, the community, right? Because this is community, and it's helpful, hopeful, healing community. And we're grateful for you. Dr. B.
I think the code is working now. We just need to clear out some of the static, just like we need to clear out the static in our lives. Take a break. Take a break today. Stop listening to everybody. Cut off some of the, war stories and horror stories and the traumatic, relationships that we sometimes, almost enjoy. Like if a movie doesn't have drama and trauma, it may not be good. And if it's got a full frontal nude scene, oh my God, I got to watch that. Go look at yourself in the mirror. Why is that the big thing, the nude scene or the argument or the fighting? And another thing about the average movie and television show, they're always drinking. I don't see anybody eating anything. And I got to go back because you mentioned soul food before we go. So Big Mama and Soul Food cooked all that food for everybody. It had all the grease, all the poisons, all the preservatives that you could think of in that meal. And it took her out. Next scene. Dave made the same meal that took Big Mama out. Who put that scene in? In order for that movie to fly, you can be sure that the studio said, listen, we're not going to have them eat no vegetarian food and no vegan and no natural choices, you see, or organic anything.
Right.
We're going to make them eat the same food so that their genes will be programmed just like Big Mama's. Your genes will eat you alive.
Yes, they will.
What's eating you?
what's eating you, right? And so what's eating you? And I think that as we're able to share different parts and different chapters, and I always say read the book all the way through, but read the book all the way through, yes, but take a moment and read chapter 16. That's where everything came from today. And Philly Cat, I'm so glad that you walked around singing LTD songs all week. And I thank you all for welcoming me and being happy that I'm here. I'm very happy to be here as well. Grateful and thankful for you all. I say start eating with intention.
Yes.
Grab the book, What's Eating You, and visit Elevation Time. Take advantage of that 15% discount because there's so much there for you. And take a few moments and listen to the sound. Allow the medicine music to be medicine to your soul. The book is available. It's I don't know that is it on Audible or it's only available.
No.
Okay, go ahead, Dr. B.
It's at elevationtime.com. Yes, it's at Elevate. There is an audio version at elevationtime.com, which is going to take you to what'seatingyou.life. So that's how you get the audio version. And somebody had asked about the drums.
And you get 2 tracks with it. And so get
Yes, 2 medicine music tracks.
2 medicine music tracks. The medicine music tracks are everything. Enjoy your day. Eat well. Listen to some beautiful, harmonious music. And be really, really good to yourself.
And put your order in right now for the drum. Don't wait because these things are moving fast. You can have medicine music and you don't need to be a musician to play it. Just let it sit in your room. Let it be a beautiful thing. Just tap on it every once in a while and you'll hear yourself. You'll feel yourself. It actually helps to balance your life. Live a balanced life, y'all. This is a good time to tap into you. What's eating you? And this song is called You. As we move out, we'll see you again. Get on the email list at elevationtime.com so you can stay tuned. Tune in, tune up, and tune on.
Be Do and Have.
The Be Do and Have Radio Network. Coming to you live. Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you.